Welcome to Mundo Madness Monday, guys. Mundo in the house. I see Jim's here, Meg, and Cinzy. How you guys doing tonight? Oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm a little late here. Jesus, man, what a day! What a Monday! It is crazy. And you know what? I'm over here. I'm running out of room with everything here. So let me see here. I'll just adjust a little bit right here. Oh, good, Cindy. Not too bad for you guys, huh? Y'all can hear me just right, just good, good, awesome. Man, I tell you, it has been. You know that song "Manic Monday"? I feel I live that damn song today. Oh my God, I started singing that song, and it's just like, oh God, I'm living this damn thing now. Oh Lord, I tell you what though, I'd ruin that entire, I'd ruin entire that music video if I was there. Oh man. So, as you saw tonight, we're gonna get into building MHS parts or building and wiring up already made hilts. And to help me along tonight, man, and we're gonna also talk about different sabers from different people. Oh man, this thing's falling. Um, let's see. Meg, off to bed, Mundo. Hey, Meg, man. I'm sorry I missed your show, man. I got so busy at work, and by the time I caught it, it's like, oh, dude, man. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it later tonight, bro. You have a good night, Meg, man. To the hooks because you can make what you envision. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I think that's a great way to go is to get parts of what you want, and even though you have even though there is a difference in a hilt that's already built and a hilt that you're going to build, let's say like from the custom saber shop stuff. I believe that everybody's vision is different. And when you truly use your imagination, you could see some amazing hills, right? And so tonight, also, the lightsaber collection book, we're going to talk a little bit about this too, as well, because I mean, not only are there some great hilts in here, but I noticed some things that I didn't notice before when I was just going through it and I was in awe the first time. And I was thinking to myself, there's some differences in all of these hills, but there's also quite a few similarities in some of the hills with some of these other characters, right? And so we're gonna get into that tonight, but as well, like I said, I want to find out who really appreciates, the already built sabers as opposed to the MHMS parts or other places that you can get different parts from and mix and match things and use your imagination to what you believe, what you envision for an awesome hill, right? And I don't think there's any such thing as a bad saber hilt, because I mean, what you and anybody else thinks about a certain hilt, that certain hilt is not tailored to you, it's tailored to other people. So for instance, well, let's take Darth Vader's hilt and let's take Luke Skywalker's hilt, right? Two different kinds of hilts, but at the same time, Luke had his father's hilt quite a bit, but when he made his own, the green saber, then you see the real big difference in their style of hilts, right? Because he wanted to emulate a little bit of Obi-Wan stuff and part of his dad stuff, I guess, but more or less Obi-Wan, right? And each Jedi usually wants to put things in their saber to reflect their masters, and it's not always just it's not always just what they envision, but part of what their master has already envisioned before. So they want to bring those to the table, right? And it's kind of like a little reminder too of their masters. If their masters are gone, then it's a little keepsake for them. I believe it's a little bit of a keepsake. So now getting into getting into the fully built hilts, and there's such a plethora of them out there that sometimes it's really hard to decide what you want. I mean, it depends on what you're in the mood for, right, at the time. And if you're a collector, like like some of us are all collectors, right, and we're going to collect all these different hilts at certain times. So let's say you start off with the graph legs, then you go to Luke's hilt, in uh Return of the Jedi, and each variation has, well, I guess a lot of these hilts that are already built have little bit of variations to them, right? I mean, I don't know how many Lukes that you can put and make, and it's almost the same kind of hilt, but it's just the subtle differences. And if you're going for screen accuracy, I mean, you're going for screen accuracy, do that and not have it kind of. If you want to have it working with screen accuracy, that's a whole nother ball game, man. So yeah, it depends on what you want, right? Now, if you're going out of the universe or into the multiverse of Star Wars, I would say, you have, I mean, there's unimaginable designs for the hilts, correct? I mean, that you have anybody and anyone who's there. Kane and Jarrus came up with, a hell of a concept of his saber. And of course, I really enjoy like some looking at some of these sketches, right? So you can see some of the sketches here in some of the hilt designs. And some of them may have the same features and some of them may not, right? So you get all these different types of sabers and the different designs, and they're all pretty much pre-built, right? Pretty much pre-built. Now, every Jedi has been tasked, well, Jedi and Sith alone, excuse me. They each have their choice of what they want to build, how they want to build it, and they've been trained to do, what they're trained to do. And the just like in Japanese folklore, well, the Japanese belief when they made katanas, when they made swords, that the sword was an extension of their soul. So when they built it, essentially when they were building these swords, these katanas, and for their, for the regiments, for their fighters and everything else, the samurai believe that when you make your sword, when you make your katana, those are parts of your soul. They live and breathe just as you do. So, um, in doing so, I think the Jedi took into consideration something of that nature as well. So, with the sabers, they become a living extension of the Jedi or the Sith as well. And in so doing, with reflect their cognitive, sheesh, can't even talk, guys. My gosh. Like I said, my brain's going faster than my mouth, or my mouth's going faster than my brain. Either one. Um, I think, Jesus, what I was gonna say. Oh, let's say the ingenuity that goes into, the saber making, whether it be the lightsabers, whether it be, the katanas, the person making it or attempting to make it, right, has choices. And in these choices, you have endless amounts of creativity to how you're going to make the saber or of course the katana. And each one of them actually has some kind of symbol, some kind of thing into the saber or into the katana that is uh that reflects that person. So, if you watch some of the how the katanas are made from Japan, um they show you when they're making them, right? And they're doing the mudding on the blade itself. And you see these guys with the sticks and they make the little, the little careful X's or lines or the wavy lines. It's almost like etching your name into a blade without putting your name on the blade. So, in retrospect, the sabers, it's almost putting your name on the saber without putting your name on it at the same time, right? Now, going to MHMS parts, you have such a great plethora and choices to make, and you can always go that kind of characterization, right? You can pick and choose your characters. You can pick and choose. Let's say you want half a Vader with, let's say, Kanan Jarrus hilt, right? So you could put those two together and make it one of a kind. Whereas you see a Kanan Jarrus that's already pre-built and a Darth Vader that's already built, so you're gonna have, the two different hilts at the right. Cindy says I still need to do an MHS hilt. Cindy, I think you'd be doing a hell of a job with it, right? Well, wait a minute. I thought you did because when you didn't you did a scrap flex? It's the same thing, you know. The scrap flex is like that. You probably gonna do another one, right? I still have yet to do another MHS part, and like I'm reaching for my parts here, guys. So right, I mean, I still haven't worked on this at all, and I'm still trying to work on it. So I just haven't had time to do much of anything. Too much work, not enough play. But I'm also trying to figure out how I can actually better this, the memory hilt. I want to better it than before. So I'm taking careful consideration and I'm trying to see if I can actually get a pin system to connect these to everything. So I'm just kind of like going through the motion here, and I'm trying to really, really, try to put things into perspective and see if they're going to work or not. So since it says I ordered some parts when I did the scrap, but I didn't end up using them. All I'd really need to order is an emitter, and I could make something. Laugh out loud. Well, go for it, dude. Go for it. Make it your. I mean, you already made Scrapflex, dude. I mean, there's endless things that you could make, right? And I actually got onto that. The builder, the 3D builder. I love the hell out of that damn thing, man, because when you got all of those different parts on there and you see and you try fitting things, together. Well, that's how I came up with the balance, right? Because the balance has two emitters together, and it works well. It works decent, Um, and I don't know if anybody has ever done that, right? Had anybody ever put? two emitters together. So yeah, so many options, right, Cincy? And when I looked at this, and I was going through that 3D builder, I mean, I was really screwing around with it to see what I could come up with, and I mean, it really came out decent. It came out better than I anticipated. And looking through it, and I agonized over having it built. I really did. But at the same time, I thought to myself, okay, you know, this is my dad's build, my dad's memory build, and I'm thinking it's it's gonna work. I mean, because if you were close to your dad, if you were close to a parent, whatever, and you do a memory hilt in their honor and stuff like that, like I have, I tell you, the sky is the limit with things. And no matter what you choose, right? You can choose like my dad was super smart also. My dad, he was what you call a blender in for Citgo, right? Which is basically they made gasoline and all that stuff. So he worked for a refinery, and he was in charge of bringing in barges from Venezuela and all these other different places, right? Doing multi-million dollar deals. My dad, he really could. I mean, he could enter numbers in his head and have it all figured out before somebody even put a calculator to it and beat the shit out of him. And I mean, he was that, that quick, that smart. And at the same time, my dad, soft and hard, and it's like he's like all around. And so, so that's why we called this the balance. Remember, I was asking you all who what I could call the hilt, and yeah, I think the balance works perfectly well. That name is the essence of the hilt. The colors is the essence of the hilt. I mean, my dad was like night and day, but at the same time, he had a sort of an elegance to him. So um, it there's so many options, like you said, Cincy, and there's so many things that you could bring to a hilt. I think that pre-built hilts, okay, they bring a lot of imagination to the pre-built hilts, but at the same time, I think there's less imagination that goes into that hilt, that particular hilt, because it is customized to a particular character already, right? Whereas if you don't have a particular characterization, then you have many more options. As the years went by, right, with Vader's hilt, for instance, and Luke Skywalker's hilt, you see all the variations that go through. So when Vader had his hilt, right, as he was Anakin, then at the time that he was Anakin, he lost that hilt, or he had that hilt built and destroyed, and then he built himself a new one, right? So he built himself a new hilt, and then you see the beginning when he becomes Vader, how much different it is. And because he was not, super fast in that suit, he had to compensate for a lot of things, and he used that hilt where he could get that blade to go up and down. He could move the length of the blade at any given time, so it threw a lot of Jedi off. So that he could basically kill them. I mean, basically destroy them. And then, as with any hilt that you can, control the blade to go up, down, short, or long. It depends, right? But then there lies in the customization right there. And after Empire Strikes Back, then you see Vader get an upgrade to his hilt. He makes a new one, right? We also see the kind of hilt that he has during the Clone Wars. We see the kind of hilt that he had during um after that. Return of so in any one given episode, it really doesn't matter what character has what hilt. There can be so many variations. And as a matter of fact, I was looking through the book right now, just a while ago, and I noticed, and I don't know how many of you actually have the lightsaber book. Because if you look, and I'm gonna look through it right now too, right? So I'm gonna go, and if you have the lightsaber book, you say Ayala Sakura, right? Her hilt. If you look, page 22, if you have the book, Ayala Sakura, her hilt, and you go further down the book, right? And I'm going to, I think it is Kiari Mundi, I think his hilt is practically the same hilt as hers, with the exception of, yep. So if you look at it, his has a very small, okay, Kiara Mundi's has a very small button where the box of Ayala Secure, where the ignition box is on Sakura's, right? So, and then you also have the red dot that's right there. So that is on, let's see, page 23. You see the hilt from her hilt, right? And on page 43, Kiari Mundi's saber. And you see I mean, there is the difference, but the hilt is almost practically the same hilt, just a little different variation on there, right? And then if you go further into the book, I believe it is, let me see. I'm thinking maybe it's Kit Fisto, and now I actually ended up liking, and that nobody really copied, is Lord Corvax's saber. So his design is really pretty unique, right? Let's see. Okay, so Luminaris, right? Luminaris looks exactly like. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I don't know exactly what happened. I think because we're getting a cold front coming in, it kind of screwed with with my signal and stuff. So it kind of went Jeez. Let me see what happened here. Let me see. I gotta catch up on some of these. Does anyone else have video? I see just a blank. Felicia! Hello, Felicia! Nope, stream died. Okay, Jim, good. Yay, I'm back. Am I back? Guys, let me know. Am I back? Let me know. I mean, I ran into some technical difficulties, so right now we're having a severe cold front coming in at the moment right now, so I think it's kind of interfering with the signal a little bit. So we'll see what happens here. I hope I didn't lose too many people, and I was talking to myself, I guess, huh? Uh, so Felicia, how you doing, Mama? All right. So back what I was saying is that Illuminaris, if you have the Book of Sabers, right? The lightsaber book collection book, and we're looking at page 50 55. Luminar Unduly Saber, right? And I'm going a little further down to Plo Koon. All good? All good, Jim? All right. You got a lag, but you're back. All right. So it wasn't too bad. Man, I had to shut the thing off, go back, restart the whole thing, man. That's crazy. That is so crazy. So going back into the Saber book, and we're looking at Luminaris, right? Her hilt. And then on page 55, and then if you go all the way to page 63 and you look at Plo Koon's hilt, they're pretty much the same thing with the exception of that Plo Koon doesn't have the gold around the bottom of the hilt. And let's see. And Plo Koon's red button is on the bottom, unless they just turned it over. Oh, let's see. Plo Koon's probably got a couple of okay. He's got a couple of LEDs right there on the side, whereas Luminara doesn't have the LED. Oh, her LEDs are up on the top. It looks like right. So they got the similarities there. It's pretty much the same, you know, except for just subtle, just subtle differences, right? Like very small. A lot of clan sabers are similar because they're all masters on the Jedi Council. Yeah, Jim, I you know that's a good point right there, right? That they're pretty much similar in a lot of ways. So, and of course, Pong Krells is pretty reminiscent of the what do you call it? The oh my gosh, the Temple Guard, right? I believe it's the Temple Guard that his saber was part of. Yeah, the Temple Guard is pretty. His is pretty close to the Temple Guard type. Not quite the same, but of course, just like I said, subtle differences, right? So if you're looking in that book, and you'll see all those different sabers with the same design almost, but not quite. Since it says Yalas was always cool to me. I love the chunky counterweight palm, very unique. Yeah, and I love the uniqueness of each hilt. I mean, individuality really shines, you know, in some of the differences, and depending on the Jedi themselves, right? I mean, of course, like I said again, the Graflex, that that the change in the Graflex that it went through a substantial change from the time that Anakin had it to the time Ray took it over. And because that thing has been through hell and back, broken and fixed, I mean, you name it, it it got its story. It became its own story. And you really don't see too many character hilts that go through that much um, in terms of change and in terms of that much characterization going into a hilt that becomes its own character, if you will. It's kind of like the the Millennium Falcon, right? That Ray took it over as well. Ray took over a bunch of shit. She took over a bunch of shit. She took over the Falcon. She took over the Saber. I mean, oh my gosh, she took over Leia's Saber. I mean, and she took over all kinds of shit. And but you got to love those things. And um, Quinlan Voss's right. It's very reminiscent of Qui-Gon's almost. Pretty close, but not quite. You know. It's there's like I said, there's certain differences, and in going back to in MHS parts as well as or the full hilt itself. So if you really want to get into full characterization, then I would say go ahead and buy an already built character hilt that you can wire up. But if you're looking outside of the character, but you want to build something into the character, I guess you can get something close to his or her lightsaber hilt and make it your own, right? You could say, hey, uh like it might be your master's type of hilt, so to speak, right? But again, the uh the choices and the possibilities are almost endless, and especially if you can find some really really cool pieces. And again, you could go to get like the 3D builder, and I think most of different companies now these days have a builder. I know that I did. Oh gosh, I don't think Ultra Sabers has a builder, 3D builder type program, right? And I think there's very few other companies out there that actually have a 3D builder where you can actually build your own through there and then have it customized like that. I think Ultra Sabers is one of the very few that doesn't have it. Who else? I think I believe there is maybe three companies that have a 3D builder type program. Um, let's see what else. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we know the Custom Saber Shop has it, and I believe who was the other one that I'm thinking of? There's only well, maybe it's just one more that I'm thinking of, but it's a company that I really don't want to mention, and everybody knows. I think everybody knows that company that we don't need to really worry too much about. But yeah, they have a 3D, builder on theirs, and it, yeah, it is what it is. They're not the same par as the Custom Saber Shop, but they got some interesting stuff on there. I'll give them that, and that's all I'll say about that. So I'm not gonna really dog them, and I'm not really gonna mention them because I don't need to. Everybody knows who pretty much who I'm talking about. And however, so let's go on with the show. Let's get into parts, right? We got parts to uh to customize. You can customize your own chassis to customize your own stuff. Uh, so last night I actually got a few minutes, after seeing my paint job from here. I think it's looking pretty decent, man. It's getting there, right? I think the colors came out pretty decent. So, of course, got the pipes in there so that, you don't see all of this mess in there. And then I got my wire sticking out right here. Next is to put the power wires through here and then get them run through. So we'll see about how that's gonna go, right? And then with this one, I'm pretty sure if I can get it just right, I will put this one in the Vader hilt, I believe. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use um um gosh, I'm considering using the IR3 on it. Oh, thanks, Jim. Thank you, man. Yeah, this is the silver, right? I put silver right here, and then this piece. Oh, sorry, this piece right here is the gilded brass, and I think it really accents everything together. So, and then of course, let's see here. So if I set, and I know that I'm just gonna kind of put this on just a little bit right here. So getting that right here, right? So putting the crystal in there, and of course in here, I'm going to I'll eventually set an LED in here so that it shines up, or I may put the LED to shine down this way. I'm still kind of checking it out, but for right now, let's go ahead and so you're seeing this part right now, this build right here. This is just pure customization, right? And all of these parts that I've got right here, every part except for the speaker I got off Amazon, but every part on here, that is all MHS parts from Custom Saber Shop. Um, I am actually very partial to kind of this look a little bit, in terms of chassis look. But you know, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's coming out kind of nice, man. I kind of dig it. It's looking pretty cool because when I get um, oops, my part, my bad. Here, let's go ahead and do this because I totally forgot about these right here, right? There we go. That's much better. And then we'll put this on there. Let's see. Come on, get down. Come on, get in there. There we go. And then there. So, like I was saying, tonight you're seeing just this part of my imagination, coming through to what I was kind of envisioning a little bit for a chassis, for a hill, for the guts of it inside, right? Ah, let me see here, get down. And this thing is not. Let me see, get it started here. There we go. Get that tightened here. And yeah. No. See, sometimes you gotta kind of jiggle it a little bit. Hey, get it started and come on. There we go. Sometimes it can be pains in the ass to get things going the right way, right? And of course, get it all tightened up. And sometimes you gotta just kind of play around with things too. And if you don't kind of just play around with things, I think you do yourself a bit of injustice in some of, um, you do yourself an injustice of stifling some of your creativity if you don't just play around with things to see how they look, right? And of course, these are going to have to be, cut down a little bit, shaved down, grind down, something, right? Um, maybe put like I may put a little decorative little knob up here to close those off and get it extra tight just like that. But yeah, man. See, and then in here or up on top, I'll put the LED so that maybe the shine down here. And I'm looking at the boards. For the boards, I'm thinking either the IR3 because I only have one, so and it's a fairly long board, so it would fit fairly well on here as well, right? So either the IR3 or maybe the Uh, let me see. Maybe the Golden Harvest. So I still haven't decided what board I'm gonna put on there just yet, right? But I'm thinking I'm pretty sure and more than sure that this is gonna go into the Vader hilt that I have. If not, if I choose to not do that and put it in a different hilt, I'm not exactly sure what hilt I might put it in because it fits really well in the Vader hilt. And with the Vader hilt though, I still have to figure out how to put the blade holder in there without trying to do too much to it, right? And I know that I bought the blade holder from the custom saber shop to put in there because the I had already gutted it out and everything. So I don't know. Can everybody see right here? Oops. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna I am moving way too much. But if you can see, I kind of moved all of my hilts into the top, to that middle section right there. I decided that I was going to use all of my stands, all of my stands to hold all my sabers right here. So when I did the show, you're gonna be able to see all the hilts plus that thing right there, right? So, sorry about that, guys. I know I probably kind of make it a little wonky right there, but yeah, all of the hilts are gonna be right there, man. And I figured that instead of hiding the hilts up here up on top, where you really couldn't see too much, I figured down here would be a lot better, so that thank you, Cindy, so that it would be eye candy, right? Rudy, what up, Rudy? Welcome, welcome. The wife's over here staring at me like, "What the hell you doing?" Gotta love her. Gotta love her. Mm. You hear that, guys? I'm glad you're here, Rudy, man. Well, glad you're here, bro. Hope work was good for you. Night, babe. So, but yeah, eventually I'm gonna get everything and looking really, really well, and I think I may put some LEDs across here too. I do have those circle lights, and I'm contemplating on putting the circle lights on there, but I want to see what maybe the strip LED lights would be better or those circle LED lights might be better. So this week I might not have a chance to work on that. So we'll see about that because those little LED lights they take a hell of a lot of batteries, man. It's crazy. They take a hell of a lot of batteries. And just so see in there, I probably would have to clean up there, right? And stick about three or four of these up in there. And it might illuminate it very well and it might not. So I got to figure that out whether it's going to work like that or not to to actually shine down enough on there, or an LED strip would be good enough to really highlight, you know, the sabers up on here. So I don't know. We'll see. This is coming though. I mean, this is gonna highlight some sabers in the future. And of course, I got the little remote, so that's gonna be a lot of fun to work on and everything. You know, guys, and one of the things this week that I was doing, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I actually got a little bit of time, and I was actually uh I found an old VCR that actually worked for a few minutes, and then it conked out on me, right? It clunked out on me when I thought I had it working, and it was in black and white, and I didn't care if it was in black and white. It still worked after 40 some odd years of having this thing, and it actually worked. And who in the hell actually has a VCR now at this day, time and age, right? Right? So anyway, after it crapped out, I'm all like, dude, I get to salvage some parts from here. I get to salvage some parts, maybe cut some board up for maybe a badass clamp card or something, right? I mean, I'm got possibilities with this damn thing. And one of the thing is, I found a whole roll. I found a whole row of 330 resistors on here. So you know I'm gonna salvage those things real quick, right? And that again, um, then again, also look at this little beast right here that was in there, right? I can make something serious with this thing on here. And I tell you, since he says, let's see, LED strips into an old 150 watt PC power have worked well for me, so it's plenty of power for more lights later and no battery. So there you go. Uh-huh. 150 watts PC power supply. That's an idea, bro. Definitely. And no batteries. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. I'm thinking of Tim Allen right now. Oh, 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 right. So, and I also did, like I said, I did have a chance to cut a few bullets this weekend. I only had probably about an hour to do everything, so I didn't have much time, but check it out. I think that is going to work good for customization of a hilt button, right? And I'm not sure if I want to put an LED button in there or something in there, but yeah, I think it's gonna look sick on a hilt. You know, think maybe I should build a rifle saber. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It's overkill if you can find an old 80 watt that's still more than enough, just what I had laying around. Oh yeah, it's overkill, huh? 80 watt, I could probably find one. I mean, my mom's got like an old, well, I have old laptops. I don't know, maybe that might work, get their little power supplies. But then again, my mom has an old HP. And I could tear that when that thing just dies and she's getting ready to throw it away. I'll salvage that thing, get the power supply from that thing, and poof, there you go, right? That's an idea, bro. It's an idea, man. It's customization for anything, right? Power up the cells for the sabers. um, so in okay, How many of you, let's say, okay, let's get into hilts, pre-built hilts already. And of course, there's so many companies out right now, right, that have a plethora of already pre-built hilts. I mean, you can order Luke's and you can order every pretty much Jedi out there, right? And I wonder, and now they're starting to, I believe they're starting to go out of just in universe type hilts. And I think that with these outer, like maybe the outer rim hilts, maybe um some other hilts that Vader had plans for. Maybe other characters had plans for hilts that never came about, but maybe they left them on paper of some sort. And nobody has really come across any of these hilts that nobody's ever seen before, right? So let's say somebody comes around and they do I don't know, they find these sketches of all these different hilts that has never been seen before, inverse, outverse, whatever have you will, right? And I think it's past people's bedtime coming up. I'm putting everybody to sleep, man. I'm putting everybody to sleep. It's been a long day. It's a Monday. It's a Monday, people, right? Now, ancient crossguard lightsaber. That is a hell of a saber. I mean, look at that. That's a cool saber to look at, man. It is cool. And it's kind of like reminiscent of Kylo Ren meets Ezra Bridger, right? So to speak. It's too funny. And let's see. The dark side sabers. So of course, you know the dark side sabers is the dark saber. That's the main one. Darth Maul's. And I guess you get, the staff kind, right? Long boy. Yeah, long day. That's right. That's right. It has been. It's been a long day. It's a Monday. Ardius. Darth Ardius. Okay. Villains. Darth Sidious and Darth Maul actually heirs vulnerable dark side traditions. We need hate. Okay. See, I gotta catch up on some of this shit here because, like, I had did not look at Darth Ardius. I mean, that's a hell of a name too. And then Darth Sidious, of course, everybody knows him, right? Of course, Vader's. And I really love the captions. I mean, the book is so really well done with with these pictures and stuff, right? You get quite an abundance of detail in this book, and so you can really choose, like if you so choose to go the into the character type hilts, right? Of course, the Dooku, the Vader, Sanjay Ventress, and then of course getting into the Inquisitors. Now the Inquisitors, as I believe, their hilts are very unique, and they're almost so close as to. I don't know if you ever watched some of those uh real old kung fu shows and stuff like that, and you see those circles that have the blades on the outside of them, and they're twirling them around, and when they're fighting, you'll see them twirling and doing this and doing that. Hey Chet, what up, buddy? And so they're kind of, to me, they kind of remind me of those old kung fu movies where you have the circular blades that they're fighting with. And as a matter of fact, I think he's played on a plethora of movies too. His name Gerald Akamora, right? The bald short guy, and he played on. He was one of the henchmen on Mortal Kombat in when I think Shang Tsung and Liu Kang were fighting, right? And you see him with those circle blades in his hands. I believe he had those. If not, I could be wrong, but I think he had them. So the Inquisitors' blades or lightsabers are almost reminiscent of that particular weapon, right? And so if you look at some of these weapons and you compare them to some of the lightsabers, it's pretty interesting, right? And I know Darth Alice really makes some amazing hilts too because he makes some of the kind of like the old swashbuckler type like lightsabers, right? Yeah. So kind of like your fencing type swords, but more or less like your Three Musketeer swords, right? Rapiers and stuff, blades of that nature. And I think those designs are like amazing looking as well. Um, oh yeah. So the and then of course you get the Ren. Huh. They got some interesting. I don't know. I have not seen anybody make a Ren saber. Have you? Has anybody done a Ren saber? I've not seen one yet. That looks pretty wicked. That's pretty wicked. I think maybe a close to it, but not quite a Ren one. But man, it looks pretty wicked. You know, you could definitely poke the shit out of somebody. And then raise dark vision. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Osage Ventress, let's see, Savage Oppress, his sword, his staff. Um, let's see here. Let's get into some more here's a definitely unique Turin Malicos. His saber was pretty look wicked. And I think somebody tried making this one or they did make it. I'm not sure. I don't remember if they did already. But I think I've seen one. I think I've seen one done. Um, and I don't remember who has made one, but that looks pretty wicked as well. And of course, it's a Sith saber, right? A lot of Sith sabers are pretty wicked looking. And legacy sabers here of Jedi Cal Kestis. I think Cal Kestis is pretty popular right now. Um, his is just off the charts right now at this point in time. Everybody's looking to do those. And then of course the Kanan Jarrus, right? I hope one day to acquire a Kanan Jarrus myself. I don't know what it is about it, but I really like the look of it. Um, and I don't know. It looks pretty badass to me, and I would not mind trying to get a hold of one and trying to wire that bad boy up. And then, of course, we know that Ezra built his, the blaster gun, the blaster saber combo, and then later on, like the lone wolf, I think they called it, right? The lone wolf saber. And then later on, let's see, we have Leia's. Leia's turned out pretty interesting, I think. Um, I really think it turned out pretty interesting. Although, when in reality, um, it was, from what I understand, it had some issues with the sound venting in it. So it's not a real loud saber. It's very quiet in terms of I guess you probably need to drill extra holes for the sound venting, but there's really not any in the accurate part of it, right? So. And then of course you have Ray's later build, saber build. And then of course at the end of the book you have the index and it tells you everything else all over again, right? But it's such a great deal to see. And blah 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 blah. But again, these are character made, character inspired, character hilts that really don't um are customized to the characters themselves, right? You can choose to have the characters, or you can choose customization with MHS parts or other parts. Uh, I believe if we really go back when I first started in getting into the hobby and everything, and or Ultra Sabers was when I didn't know anything about Ultra Sabers, that you could actually mix and match pieces of Ultra Saber stuff to MHS parts from Custom Saber Shop. They're like a really dilemma if you actually, if you did some very, very unorthodox customization on things, right? Um, you could turn out some really good hilts. And then, of course, I think Ultra Sabers did something what they called like the Franken hilt or something. So they put a bunch of different hilt parts together and called it the Franken hilt, where you could purchase it. Or I think maybe they did it where you had a mystery saber, and a lot of the Frankenhilts were mystery saber stuff. But don't quote me on that. I think, but I believe that's what they were doing at the time, for a good long while. And I'm not sure if they still have like the Franken saber buys or not, right? Because I mean, they get all these different parts that they have, and they just put whatever together. Some look okay, some look all right, some look like, ooh, ouch. Like, really? And again, I mean, it's the customization part of it, and I don't know if they actually put any thought into that kind of hill, that kind of thing. So, um, it's good to have great imagination, but at the same time, think about what you're putting together. I mean, at least try to make it work somewhat decent. Um, I I I take a long time to see, like this. It took me a long time to really decide what I was going to paint. This was white, and I agonized over having it stay white or put it silver. And after buying the silver paint and putting it on PVC first, it was a done deal. I went ahead and went silver with it. So, man, yeah. And I think it turned out really good. And thanks Jim and Cindy for letting me know that it turned out great, because it really reinforces that part of creativity that I second guess myself, right? And I don't think that most people, if you feel that customization that you're doing, if it works well, go with it, run with it. You like I said, the sky's the limit with imagination, and so having the customization parts, the MHS parts, you have the possibilities of obtaining something epic. You have the possibility of obtaining, greatness within the hilts and stuff. Let's see. Chet says I don't really mess with Ultra Sabers, but their latest hilts aren't bad. I got their Ezra staple gun and their third sister staff, and I was surprised by them. Really, Chet? Did you get them secondhand, or did you get them from Etsy? Did you get them from the company themselves, straight from the company? How did you obtain them? Um, Did you attain them straight from Ultra Sabers? I don't know if they're getting any better on what they're, what they're supposed to be doing, but I have not kept up with them because, of course, you know that you bought them straight from them. How long did it take you to get your hilts? Because a lot of people are saying that it's been a long time since they got their hilts, or if they even got them at all. Did it take a long time for you to get them? Because I'm wondering if some of the things that they've changed, if they have, if they haven't, if I don't know, because they've got a pretty bad rap, right? I'm wondering if maybe they've changed a few things up. Maybe they're trying to change for the better. I'm not sure. I got it during their 40% off sale, and it took about a week empty. A week? That's interesting, dude, because a lot of people wait months for their hilts empty. But then again, I don't know. Empties are always a good thing because I think their wiring is crap. So that's why I'm learning to do my wiring the right way. Do my wiring the right way and take my time with it. So it's not, to that stuff. Their latest hilts aren't as big or bulky. Really? Huh. Now I bought uh V what do you call it? Shoot. I bought a Ultra Sabres hilt from Albert, right? And I've always wanted one for a long time. Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna step over here just a minute, right? And I got this from Albert, and I've always wanted one of these. Actually, I wanted both the silver one and the dark one. And it's red. I'm just gonna do it like this because I don't want to blind everybody, but you can see, right? It's not Neopix, right? But I'm thinking of gutting this and putting Neopix in it. And then I want to kind of customize it just ever so slightly with some different things. I'm thinking, I'm not sure yet. I have a lot of ideas for it, right, to make it a little bit better. Um, so let's see. I joked it should be a forged piece of gee, that's funny. Let's see. Chit says you're correct on the wiring. I wouldn't bother laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of stuff where, a lot of people are saying that they'd rather do the empties instead of, the wiring. So, damn it, man, there are plenty of space inside those hills. Yeah, I think so. I need to get a chassis made for it, you know, and then I'll get the Neopix in here. I'm thinking maybe get it to where the LEDs will shine through here, um, or I may just put some LEDs right here and let it do it that way. I'm not just sure just yet, but yeah, I like the feel of the hilt. The only thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, and I don't know if I'll keep it on or not, is the knob right here. So, I mean, it's not a bad hilt. It's not a bad hilt. It's actually comfortable in the hand. It's just a pain in the ass because if you like me, I'm left-handed, so it's not a big problem for me. But if you're right-handed, I can see that it's going to interfere with, you know, with your fighting or whatever. or you can use the two hands and you have one above and one below it. So take your pick. Everything is got, everything can be customized, everything can be downsized, everything can be taken apart and reimagined, right? Reimagination is the key to all things saber wise. Um, and and that's the thing. That's like the memory hilt, right? Customization, right? Of course, I got that from Albert as well. Um, I put that on here, and I let's see, the other half of it is somewhere around. So I just got these two parts right now, right? The back part of it is here we go. So here we go, right? It's in three pieces right now. Of course, I gotta keep the battery terminals like this so that way I won't get the battery all screwy. But if you can see right there, I got a little bit of that up on there right here so that it kind of coincides with this there. So it's just a small little upgrade customization to the memory hilt, right? And of course, my friend, he was always changing shit up. Like he'd change his underwear. I mean, I couldn't keep up with all of his changes of stuff. It's super crazy, man. My friend was super, super crazy, but he was so, colorful in terms of doing all these things and achieving certain things that it was crazy. And so I find myself customizing and changing things up as I go along while I'm thinking of my friend, right? So it's been truly an amazing journey of changing things up and customizing every little detail of every different saber. And and you get that buying MHS parts. I mean, you can get it buying character hilts, right? But you don't have the same. How do I really, really, really put it? I mean, um, Cindy says the Thundercats hilt I installed is from them. It's cool, but the machining is shoddy and the edges were sharp as hell. As a machinist myself, I cried a little. I believe it, Cindy. I mean, there were so many problems with that company that I really. Hey, Titan, how you doing, dude? I'm glad you're here, man. Um, there were so many problems with that company, dude, that it baffles me that you would think that people would learn, or even the company itself, with as bad of an image that it has, to change things for the better for themselves. And yes, they changed a small, minute stuff that really does not cater to, the fans themselves, really. Not one company has yet to do a good sort of omens. I believe it, Jim. I believe it. But I think if somebody were to make one, I would say you would have to have one where it curls up. You know how it comes in, where the sword handle curls, right? When he puts it to his eyes and you see it curl up onto his eye, under his eyes like that. I think that would kind of like blow the shit out of things, man, big time. And it would be a wonderful customization to that hilt that you would see it kind of like flat, and then I guess there'd be like a little mechanism inside the hilt, right? Inside the hilt where you would push up on it and it would curl up the ends, and it would be like something, it would be spectacular to have that happen. So then when you go thunder, thunder, and then you see it curl up like that, and oh yeah, it'd be really hard to do. Yeah, I know it'd be hard to do, but I think it can be done, right? It'd be something similar to what had Cal has done with Ray's saber. I bought it from my roomie that he immediately cut himself swinging. I felt so bad, dude. Oh yeah, man. That's pretty harsh, dude. That he cut himself immediately. Man, and I mean, Cindy, I mean, it's not your fault, dude. That should have been on the company. That they should have made sure that those edges were not sharp. I feel on the Thundercats hilt. I have one as well, and I cut myself with swinging. I still got a score from it. Wow, jeez. And I wanted one, man. I mean, I'm a Thundercats, fan as well. I downloaded the whole series, dude. So yeah, I could be an LCD screen. Yeah, of course. That would be badass. Why not, right? As a matter of fact, um, oh, dude, don't tell me. Let me see. Where is it? Look, right? You get one of these OLED screens, get one of these OLED screens, make it round, and then you have the eye like that, right? I think that would be a hell of a thing to do is an OLED screen type eye. When you mail a saber to someone, what do you list it as on the box and receipt? Do you say it's a saber or something else? No, Titan. I mean, you just ship it to the person. You don't need to tell them what. You don't have to put it on there. You just put the person's name on there, and you don't have to put what it is. You when Aunt sent me blades, a blade, and or when I get a saber from like when I got the saber from the custom saber shop, all they did was put my name on the box, and it didn't say that. It just said from the custom saber shop. It didn't say what it was or what it is. They have round screens. Oh, okay. Okay, Jim, they have round screens. All right. Is it just as small as the OLED screens? Is it just as small as that? If that's so, shit, man, make have somebody just, you know, Cindy, you're a machinist. Shoot, man, make your own hilt, dude. Customize your own hilt, dude. I think that'd be badass. I bet you could make it, man. Sending and then shut down and then make sure that it didn't happen again. And it had been so hard. Yeah. Cindy, you probably could make a better one than they could, dude. I believe you can make one way better than they could. And it may be, maybe a smaller hilt, maybe a little bit bigger hilt. Who knows, right? But I think that particular hilt probably should be about the same size as this. I mean, not much bigger than this, because I think if you go a little bit bigger than what it is, then you really fall out of context for the saber itself. So I would say what maybe 10 at the most, possibly 11, and then knowing the blade or anything. So who knows? Let's see, Titan. No, I would say the saber in particular that the type of sword may cause alarm. If anything, I know KR sends it as an electronics kit. Hey, there you go. That works even better, right? An electronics kit. So I mean, you may run. Yeah, I agree, Cindy. You may run the risk of somebody opening it up and stealing it if you put what it really is. Nobody's really gonna say, "Oh, electronics kit. You got to put it together." Okay, I don't want to do that. You got some of these damn lazy thieves around here that don't. I would say do not label what the package being shipped. Just unethical postal employees might be tempted to help themselves to your package. Yeah, see, I agree, Jim. That's what I say. And like when I send stuff to people, I don't even put what it is. I just say, nah, it's just some plastic parts, or nah, just a piece of electronic, or maybe a shot glass. When it's really not a shot glass. So, I mean, not many. Well, I did have a few people try to. I had a message actually that somebody tried to open one of my packages. Come to find out that when they try to open it, they couldn't open it because of all the damn tape that I put on there. I did a package within a package, dude. So they got a little discouraged after trying to get through all of that because it would take too long for them to open it up, if you know what I mean. And I mean, it really is good though. You know, yeah, tempted to help themselves to your package. You wouldn't put, I mean, come on, Chet. I mean, it's these people these days, man. They're gonna do anything. Thieves are gonna do anything and everything they can to get what you got going out if they think it's that valuable. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. They will try to get it. That's why I love seeing some of these videos, YouTube videos, where people are trying to steal other people's packages from their porches and stuff. And I've seen some of these guys where they rig these packages and they have like paint bombs, they have all like glitter bombs, and they have all of this shit that you see people stealing it and then they get busted with it. Oh, it's hilarious, man. It is hilarious. This one guy stole a package and he got it in his car. There's a little camera inside the package. When he opened it, you see paint going all over the place in the car and the guy. Oh, it was funny. Let's see. It happens to me from TCSS though. So Tim sent it from his house the second time. Yeah. And that sucks, Jim, that people do that. They take it and then it's bad for everybody, right? It's bad for everybody because then, you're the purchaser loses out on the hilt and has to wait more time to get that hilt. And the company maker, the maker of the hilt, loses money as well because then they got to send another hilt to you, as well as the time that it takes to remake it if they have to remake that part or whatever. So yeah, it really sucks. I would love to machine my own, but lasers are expensive. I work for a medical implant company, so we can't mix material. I could make one out of a well, Cincy, man, I am seeing a I don't know if you have what is that? I think I saw one at not Tractor Supply, gosh. Let me see. Who has some that are pretty cheap that's got some and man, my brain is going bye-bye right now too. Let me see. Be the world's most expensive lightsaber. Laugh out loud. But Tim was amazing. He got the post office to do a full investigation. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool, Jim. That is awesome. A full investigation on it. Sheesh. You don't fuck around. That is see, and I'm glad he did that because some people are just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, mm-mm. Now, full characterization hilts again. There's so much imagination in those that go into it, but at the same time, you really can't do much in terms of really kind of altering it too much, right? Then again, you have all these people that are like the simplified versions of those. They also like the 6061 aluminum. Hmm. Okay. Is that the standard use of aluminum for hills? Because is that the aircraft grade type aluminum? Not sure. I don't know. I have no earthly idea what grade of aluminum that most hilts use. So they start getting cheaper, and maybe one day the power required to run one is still a problem. Since I not own a house and pay the power bill, I would feel really bad. Oh wow. Well, why would you feel bad, dude? I mean, you pay. Why would you feel bad? I mean, you probably had to clean up a lot more, maybe. And the power bill, well, yeah, yeah. The power to run one. How much power do you use for one? Shoosh. There you go. Off the grid house. Solar, baby. Solar. Solar or wind. That would work. I should, especially if you're in a windy area, that would work even better. The wind power, it would really work well. And you can make all kinds of things since you make a spaceship, dude, or even make that cockpit that you were flying around in. Make that some bitch. Oh, since it will, you can do you can do just about anything with sunlight and wind power. Anything, man. It's crazy that you can actually charge a I don't know which science experiment that I saw, but you could actually charge a phone using a lemon and I think a lemon and a nail or something, some shit like that, dude. I don't know how they did it, but man, that was crazy. They used a piece of fruit, wires, and nail, and I mean, it was unbelievable how they just plugged that shit in and boom. I need to call it a night. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks, Mundo. Yes, sir. Check. You have a good night too, man. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here pretty soon too. So I gotta go and check on my mom's dog. An Iceland company makes a turbine that sits on the ground. A turbine that sits on the ground? Jeez. Wow. Turbine. Now I'm still waiting, but I know that those diamond batteries there are gonna come out, right? Those man. But I had seen some really cool shit come out. But what I want to see, and of course, this has been sometime, probably several years now, that I had watched about batteries, where they're turning these microchip batteries, and they roll them up, and these batteries are no bigger than a double A battery. Happy Thanksgiving, Chet. Yes, sir. Hope you have a great one, dude. They're no bigger than a double A battery, right? No, they're not coming. Well, not for a very, very long time, Jim. I think they were just starting them in the only for like pacemakers and stuff like that, right? But no, this is not the diamond batteries. Also, there's a guy that's doing um another. I think he's got it. I think it's a military type grade of battery that they're working on. Again, it's not the diamond battery, but it's something different. And in these micro batteries, they have rows and rows and rows of micro batteries, right? And they roll it up to the size of a double A battery. And what they're saying is that the power in those things is supposedly have enough charge to run a small house out of this. And they're using it for military use, or they're trying to get it to work for military use, right? I guess at the present time, right? Um, so it's the more layers that go into it, the more power that it will discharge for a longer period of time. But they never really came out with the full story of that also. So who knows? But it was interesting to see how this guy is using that technology for military use, because he couldn't go into too much depth about it, but that was interesting nonetheless. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and let's call it a night. I know everybody's probably tired. It's been a long day. Um, and I sure appreciate everybody that has come. I hope everybody has a great, happy Thanksgiving. Jim, Chet, Titan, Cindy, Felicia. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. So hanging with me, and everybody, and also Rudy, thank you for stopping by, man. I sincerely appreciate y'all and love y'all very much for hanging out with me. It makes the world of difference to do this and to have fun with you guys, like we're sitting at a table having a drink together. Um, there is a prize, I cannot remember the name of it, but you win 1 million text reading for new battery technology. um, so it really means the world to me. And of course, this Mundo Madness Monday is not possible without Space Windu, Anthony Lagapa, man, because with he's the original creator of Civilized Sabers, and I am proud to be part of you know that entity. And Anthony is so gracious to let me continue with Mundo Madness Monday. So if you guys enjoy, hanging out and check out Civilized Sabers, check out the content, that Anthony puts out, like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks, Titan Man. You too. Have a good holiday, man. Have a good happy Thanksgiving. And if you like I said, go check out Anthony's stuff when he puts out the Blaze, the Quad Star, the TriStar. Man, the brightest blades on the planet, in my opinion. Um, and if you like hanging out with me, you want to come and hang out and talk. If you guys have any topics that you guys want to discuss as far as sabers go, hit me up at e_cabrera I at yahoo.com. Or you can also get me on my YouTube channel, of course, at Mundo Cabrera 7007. Um, it's not a necessity. You can like and subscribe if you wish. You do, you do. You don't, you don't. It's all good, man. It's all love. you know. And keep hanging out. And for all those newbies that come in and want to hang out and want to talk, y'all are more than welcome. Come and hang, man, because it's everybody's appreciated. Everybody's here. We have fun and love you guys. Mundo up. Peace, guys. I'm gonna brand it out in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. What happened? That was too short.